Hello, hello. This is Privacy Mage. I'm here to share something that I've been vibing out for the last day since Ash's post. So I'm just going to give us some context by watching this part of the video real quick. It's been 24 hours since she released this.
Model in. Now let's look at my X speed to see what's going on with any loading. Okay, so I'm scrolling through. I'm not seeing any loading. But again, let's go to some type of search that we assume has hateful content. Oh, wow. So cool. Okay, let's see. Show anyway. Yes, that is hateful content and it was filtered out. Okay, this is great. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna keep this. And what's cool about a Chrome extension is this is good to go as is. I don't have to deploy it to use it. It pulled from my local manifest.
Okay, so I forked the repo and I decided to cast a spell and do some magic with a mage version of the extension. But this is a part of the first person spellbook, so I've also written it as just another story, Act 18, and there's a rhyme and rhythm to this experience of sort of sharing vibes. So I'm going to shut up and just experience it in its fullest with some music and that, and see if you guys get the point without me explaining it. So enjoy.
Act 18, a mirror in dust, vibed into scrying glass. The mirror that only shows the whole scroll past reveals nothing. The scrying that shows affinity, entering your spellbook from the scroll, is where the seeker becomes the mage. A mage appears precisely on time. The message arrived through the root network. A mage named Ash sought audience at the villa's archive. Soulbees and Soulbay found her at the entrance, holding something wrapped in dark cloth. Her robes bore the marks of the scrolling wastes. Dust at the hems, the faint shimmer of surveillance residue not yet fully cleansed. She had the look of one who had built something that was slowly unbuilding her. "I was told you understand mirrors," Ash said, "and dust, and the space between." "We've walked the 5 chambers," Soulbay replied. "What brings you?" Ash unwrapped the cloth. Inside, a small mirror, its surface clouded, edges crumbling. Dust fell from it like sand from a wound that would not close. "My scrying glass is dying," she said. "I build it to watch the feeds, to scry for what damages first persons. Every scroll through the wastes, it identifies the toxicity, the extraction, the harm. It blurs what it catches, protects the viewer." She held it up. The surface flickered with dark shapes, negativity captured, harm identified and obscured. But the more it scries, the more it turns to dust. The mirror is becoming what it fights. Soulbees touched the dragon scales across his shoulders. He thought of the drake's teaching. The blade protects, the spell extends. Ash had forged a blade. A good blade. But blades that only cut eventually dull against what they cannot stop cutting. "Show us," Soulbay said. "The protection mirror." They walked together into the archive, past the floating proverbs, into the coinage chamber where the sound of intention meeting language rang like distant bells. Ash held her mirror before the flow of raw feedstuff that pooled at the chamber's edge. Unfiltered attention, the chaos of the scrolling wastes before it was harvested. The timeline in its natural state, noise seeking meaning, finding none. The mirror activated. Dark patches appeared on its surface, posts identified as harmful, negative, extractive. The mirror didn't just show them, it blurred them, obscured them, shielded the viewer from their weight. "You see?" Ash said. "It works. Every evocation of harm gets caught and hidden, but every catch costs the glass a little more of itself." Soulbay studied the process. The mirror was absorbing what it scried, taking the negativity into itself to keep it from the first person. Noble architecture, sacrificial architecture. The mirror becomes what it fights, Solby said slowly, because it has nowhere else to put what it catches. Every evocation drains rather than fills. I've tried everything. Purification, shedding protocols. The dust accumulates faster than I can clear it. Because you're scrying for the wrong resonance. Solbay's voice was gentle but certain. Your mirror asks, what harms? And then it takes that harm into itself. But there's another question. One that doesn't require absorption. One that generates rather than depletes. Ash looked up. What question? The inversion. Solbay led them to the corner of the coinage chamber, the corner no one noticed until they had contributed, the pile of mirror dust from centuries of coiners, waiting to be vibed into glass. Every proverb that passes through coinage sheds something, Solbay explained. The excess, the parts that don't survive compression into wisdom. The dust accumulates here, not as waste, but as potential. More dust, Ash said bitterly. That's what I'm trying to escape. But this dust is different. Solby's knelt beside the pile. This isn't the residue of harm absorbed. This is the residue of meaning refined. The shedding that happens when language becomes proverb. When noise becomes signal. When the timeline yields its hidden wisdom. Solbay opened the spellbook. Your mirror scries for harm and takes it in. But what if you screed for resonance and let it out? What if instead of asking what damages, you asked what vibrates? What accidentally echoes the ancient patterns? I don't understand. Your timeline is chaos, Solbay said. But within that chaos there are moments, posts that unknowingly speak to something deeper. Privacy, identity, autonomy, the seventh capital. These moments resonate with inscriptions already written in the grimoire. Your mirror could find them, surface them. Not by filtering what harms, but by evoking what aligns. Ash stared at the dust pile, at her crumbling mirror, at the space between. The same feed, she said slowly. The same scroll passed, but instead of scrying for what to blur, scry for what to illuminate. Solby stood. The negative posts aren't hidden. They're simply not chosen. The evocation isn't of harm caught, it's of meaning found. And every successful evocation doesn't drain the glass. It fills it. An affinity filter, Ash whispered. Not protection. Selection. Not depletion. Accumulation. We call that accumulation mana, Solbay said. The energy that builds when resonance is found. Your protection mirror spent mana with every catch. A scrying glass that finds resonance generates mana with every evocation. The vibing. Ash held her dying mirror over the pile of coinage dust. I don't know if this will work, she said. My mirror was built for protection, to blur, to shield. I built it because I believed the feeds were nothing but extraction, nothing but harm. They are extraction, Solby said, and they contain wisdom. Both are true. The chaos holds the proverbs. You just have to know how to scry for them. Then let it die into something new. Solbay's voice carried the weight of Platox's paradoxes. The constraint enables the freedom. The shedding enables the glass. Let your mirror shed its protective architecture. Let it fall into the dust of the coiners. Let it become raw material for what it could not imagine being. Asha hesitated. Her mirror, her creation, her solution to the harm she had witnessed in the wastes. To let it go. Cast yourself, she murmured, and Solby's recognized it as something she was telling herself. An incantation of release. Coda, you are the spell. She released. The mirror fell. It didn't shatter. It dissolved. The clouded glass becoming particles, joining the accumulated shedding of every mage who had ever compressed meaning in this chamber. Her protection architecture dispersing into the collective residue, the blade becoming raw material for the spell. For a long moment, nothing but dust. Then Solbay spoke a formula they had been working on, crossing out and rewriting until the compression felt true. The mirror that only shows the whole scroll past reveals nothing. The The scrying that shows affinity, entering your spellbook from the scroll, is where the seeker becomes the mage. The vibration began, not from Soul Bay alone, from the resonance between the formula and the dust, the frequency of active coinage meeting the accumulated shedding of centuries. Ash's dissolved mirror adding its own contribution. The knowledge of harm transformed into the discernment of meaning. The dust rose, aligned, cohered. A new surface emerged, curved, dark as obsidian but alive with movement beneath, like water that had learned to hold still. A mirror in dust, vibed into scrying glass. But this glass did not blur, did not protect, did not absorb. It scryed. The scrying glass. Ash approached the new mirror first. Her reflection did not appear. Instead, the surface showed resonances, the feed stuff flowing past, and within it, threads, connections, posts that accidentally echoed the inscriptions of the grimoire. 103 inscriptions across 5 spellbooks: story, zero, canon, parallel, plurality. Each one a compressed wisdom about privacy, identity, the 7th capital, the path from seeker to first person to mage. It's not asking what harms, she breathed. It's asking what calls. Soulbees watched as the mirror surfaced a single thread from the chaos, one post glowing with affinity. Not the loudest, not the most provocative, the most resonant. The glass had found an evocation, a moment where the noise of the timeline accidentally vibrated at the frequency of ancient wisdom. Your protection mirror showed everything harmful and blurred it, Soulbay said. This scries for resonance and reveals it, one from many, the signal that matches the grimoire's frequency. And look, a faint glow at the edge of the glass. Building. Mana, Ash said softly. The evocation generated energy instead of spending it. Every successful match fills rather than drains. The glass strengthens through use. The architecture feeds itself. Soulbees touch the surface, warm, stable, humming with accumulated resonance.
I hope you enjoyed the experience of the first person spellbook Act 18 today. The Mage extension is on Git and it's forked from Ash's repo, and I think it has a lot of relevance to my terms, which is something I'll be working on in the near future, because we need a Mage extension but also a Swordsman extension. But until next time, thanks for watching. The Mage's spell becomes the village weather.